Hello and welcome to, wait, let me check my notes, round 6 of Grand Prix Montreal. I'm Brian David Marshall, here with Marshall Sutcliffe, and we are watching Harry Corvese, who just made a turn 2 swordwise centaur.
Wow.
How did that centaur get so swordwise?
So David Ochoa's deck, it's actually unbelievable.
I've heard really good things about it.
So this is what Joshua Layton said. He built 9 team sealed pools in preparation for the team GP, and not one of any singular deck from all 9 pools, that's 27 decks, was better than David Ochoa's.
Leads off with the swordwise centaur, follows it up with Bastoli strength.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, that's going to let the centaur crash past the Leonin Snarecaster there. A lot of pressure there early from Harry.
Yeah. That's a well, that's a 4/4.
Mm-hmm.
That's a Dirkwood boar.
And it's attacking turn 3.
Yeah. There's a Ordeal of Thassa get in for 3.
A little fight back here. So now Harry Corvese's in a much different position as he has to worry about that Leonin Snarecaster getting out of hand.
Except it looks like we got a time to feed here. Is it time to feed?
Oh, it's time.
Do you risk it here with the 1 white up? You certainly don't want to let...
God, that would be so bad. I mean, it would be so bad. God's willing. Now, he's going to attack first either way.
So he plays a 4th land. Here it comes.
Yeah, he's going for it.
Time to feed. Got to go for it. What do you have?
Uh-oh. Ochoa's picking up his pile.
Okay.
No, that's not good news. Ochoa looks at the power toughness and says, yeah, I guess my guy's dying.
Wow.
All right, so the savage 2-for-1 there from Harry.
And then get in for 4, gain 3. And Ochoa's up against that. I mean, this is a deck, too. This is like, Randy makes them mwah. When he talks about Ochoa's deck. He did that again as he handed off this deck list to me. There is a God's Willing in his deck. Oh, look at that. There's another Ordeal that was ready to go down this turn.
Wow. So he was going to be able to gain 10 life or draw 2 cards?
Yeah, whichever he felt, better about.
Speaking of feeling better, the old bear flitter step Eidolon, that can't make him feel very good.
No. I feel like we're going to get just a Voyage's End to slow things down here.
Yeah. Yep, you got it.
Push that card. Looks like a couple more lands in Ochoa's hand. He's looking for... And, I guess not willing to take 4 there and then bounce it at the end of turn so that maybe he can't redeploy it.
Mm-hmm.
Good. So Crone Skyguard. There's a Cavalry Pegasus.
So Ochoa up against it in a huge way here with just a 1/1.
Oh, jeez. Some good cards in Ochoa's deck. It looks like he just drew a Fabled Hero.
Oh, yeah. That is a Fabled Hero.
I don't know if he has time to tell that story, though. Yep, it goes right to it. Says, I am going to put that, get a hero trigger, Ordeal of Heliod.
David Ochoa doing the right thing there, just playing the main phase Ordeal of Heliod. Sometimes it's tempting to try to wait till your turn to do it, but he needs to get the counter on his Fabled Hero right now so that he can use up all of his mana for the turn in case he draws something big next turn that he wants to play.
Yeah, I mean, he gets to swing for 8 with that next turn minimum.
It's a massive threat. Nyxborn Shieldmate is a human.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to get flying here.
Player Frederick Clement. Your sealed 8-man is waiting for you over by the Silence meeting area.
So what does that put Ochoa at?
9, 3 damage. Oh,
jeez.
whoa! Some good cards all around here. Fleecemane Lion and Setessan Oathsworn.
We got a fight here, BDM. These guys are deploying some really impressive threats.
All right, we gotta get our swing on here.
Unfortunately
Attack for 4 double strike.
Yeah, unfortunately for David, he needs one more counter on that ordeal for it to be able to gain him 10 life and try to swing this race back in his favor right now. Well, that's definitely the plan he's on, and I don't think he has much to back this up.
Do you just monstrous your Fleecemane?
No. No way. I don't think so. I mean, look, he's taking some risk by doing that. If it's for lethal, if he can make that happen. But it's only going to get him what, an extra damage?
Yep.
And doing it while your opponent has blue, 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 white, white, white up is sort of.
What could he have?
Yeah, what could possibly go wrong, right?
I mean, the worst nightmare here is Crypsis, right?
Crypsis is a blowout. In fact, I mean, I guess that would. Yeah, that's the worst because it also leaves up Griptide and and Retraction Helix.
Doesn't attack with the Setessan Oathsworn.
Oh, it's a Satyr Warrior.
Yeah.
So?
Not willing to just trade it or get it,
Yeah, he doesn't want to trade it for the Eidolon. Okay. So how much is he attacking for right here? 3, 4, 5, 6?
Yep. Can represent 7.
Magic players in the rebound.
Replays the Swordwise.
Pairings for round
It's been
2.
stranded in his hand for a while.
Yeah.
Players in the rebound sealed event. Pairings for round 2 have been posted.
So he gets to attack here, gain.
It's 100. I did the math.
Yeah.
Gains 100. No, he can gain 10. They'll go back up to 13.
And deal 10.
He can potentially deal 10 here as well, though Harry's
not going to let this
There's
thing
no
come.
way.
There's no way this thing hits, does it?
So it looks like Harry's doing some math about what his crackback looks like. Like, let's say he draws a bestow creature here. Right? Now how does the board look? How much damage can he do cracking back? That's the question he has. He decided to play the Swordwise Centaur, so he's not going to monstrous the Fleecemane Lion this turn.
Oh, he's gonna say, oh, look at this.
Players in booster draft number 26, we are ready for you to start. Please come to the silent stage.
So he's representing a trick of some sort here, right? I mean, that's a 5/5 double strike. Like,
yep. So which creature do you put first?
that's the question, and that's the thing that David Ochoa has to figure out
That's
here.
not the answer I was looking for, Marshall.
Yeah, so it looks like David decided to go
Setessan
Oathsworn, but I mean, he's got to know something's coming.
Mortal's Ardor.
Oh, no. What a blowout.
Or is that not? That's not Mortal's Ardor. That's
Huh? It is.
Mortal's Resolve.
Mortal's Resolve, yeah.
Yeah. Ardor's the white one.
Ardor's the white one. That's nasty.
So that's a 4/4 indestructible right now.
Yes, 4/4 with indestructibility. With indestructible. So while Ochoa did manage to pad his life total back up to 13.
He's just gonna get crushed on the crackback here.
Right.
He's like, how much damage am I taking?
Yeah, he's trying to figure out how much damage he's taking on the backswing here.
And I have also added it up to 100.
It's 100, right. It looks like he has a Dauntless Onslaught
Dauntless
here.
Onslaught. Ooh.
It's just not an amazing play here for David Ochoa, because even if he were to use it, he's basically just saving his his double striker, as Harry Corvese still gets to keep his Citizen Oathsworn because it's indestructible. Though Ochoa is not dead to this crackback currently.
6, 9. He can get to 10 with Monstrous on the Fleece Mane.
That's right. Which clearly David Ochoa is looking to block. He's left back his Flitter Step Eidolon.
Yeah.
So jumping in front of Citizen Oathsworn is the obvious block, as it's the only thing that can get really out of hand. Yeah, it's going to be really tough for Corvese to punch through lethal damage here. Remember, David Ochoa also has a card in his hand, blue, white mana up as well. So Corvese is going to have to go through all the iterations.
Gotta think about Crypsis.
Crypsis. Oh yeah, Crypsis is real bad for him. Any bounce spell, though he can't cast Griptide right now. Looks like Harry's trying out a couple of different attack formations here.
Doesn't look like there are a lot of instances that Ochoa could legitimately have here. Huh? And just attacks with the Flyers. Plays it very cautious.
Yeah, and that's interesting. I mean, look, if he leaves Fleece Mane Lion back, he can Monstrous it and put it in front of the hero repeatedly. Just use it as a wall. And if David Ochoa, that's just going to prevent David Ochoa from attacking. And it looks like during upkeep, Harry Corvese is going to fire off that Fleece Mane line. So he actually does give Ochoa the chance that if it was Griptide in his hand to use it, but it wasn't. So Corvese gets the counter.
So Ochoa's at 8.
And he attacks for 1. What does he have to add to the board here, though? A Plains.
It looks like we have a Dauntless Onslaught.
Yeah, that's what I saw too.
And again, just playing it super cautious. But yeah, Dauntless Onslaught.
So 2,
It's
3,
plus
4,
5.
5. Yep.
Okay. So green-white Heroic overtakes blue-white Heroic. This is the second time we've watched this matchup in the feature match area. And green-white Heroic in the hands of Matt Costa took down blue-white Heroic, and then which switched into black-white Heroic.
Yeah, black-white Heroic, right. Yeah, it's interesting. You know, we were talking about that a little earlier, BDM, about the Heroic deck and what it does, because it's totally viable and sealed. Normally, you'll see this correlation where the aggressive draft decks don't translate well to sealed because you can't get enough of the pieces. But the fact is, the Heroic deck has so much redundancy in Theros and in Born of the Gods, thanks to the bestow creatures, that you actually do see a viable Heroic decks all over the place in sealed as well, and that has to be respected.
And honestly, with some of the tricks, you can just you don't always even need the Heroic. You know what I mean? Sometimes you can just come out with Oresco Sun Guides and Traveling Philosophers, and Dauntless Onslaught would be very first pickable in a format without Heroic.
And there are tons of combat tricks too.
Yeah, Battle-Wise Valor, both the Mortal's Resolve and Mortal's Ardor now.
Rise to the challenges there. And then, of course, from Theros, remember half of the packs that they opened are from Theros. You get all types of ridiculous combat tricks. So, I mean, for me, it's the bestow cards that push it over the top. But you're completely right. Like, you open up the right pool, and you can just run people over with just combat tricks and a curve. And that's really changed the way I think that the sealed format is played out, because traditionally you just don't see those efficient, aggressive type decks that can curve out and really keep the heat on you with tempo plays like combat tricks. But here you have to respect it, and if you go for that, 3-color all over the place deck or the 4-color, I'm going to play all my good stuff, you're going to get punished very hard.
Looks like David Ochoa did a little bit of surgery on his deck, bringing in as many as 3 cards, it looked like. What do you think? I mean, I see like Revoke Existence and like Crypsis and Divination and even Griptide. Nullify.
Nullify.
So you think just bringing in some stuff and just saying, just like mixing up his card base.
Taking a look here, I don't think Nullify is particularly good against Harry Corvese. Revoke Existence is interesting.
Crypsis seems like it's very good.
It does, yeah. If your creatures are going to be tussling with their creatures, you want Crypsis.
If you ever get to Crypsis, a Fabled Hero.
Yeah,
that's what you want to do.
That is Plan A, yes, for sure. See, get a look at Lucas Siao there on the back table. Looks like they just finished up their first game as well.
Playing against Frank Scarron. All right, but we're ready here for game 2. As we switch to the overhead view.
For standard side event number 22 for a box. And for legacy number 8 for a box. We are ready for you to begin, please.
Oh, a much better opening for David Ochoa this game.
Jeez, that's scary.
And he's got it. I see it in his hand. I see the ordeal.
Does he really?
Randy Bueller's nightmare. Favorite hoplite in
this
turn
is
2
every
ordeal.
limited player's nightmare. Turn 1 hoplite into turn 2 ordeal. Goodness.
Okay. Attack you for 3 on turn 2.
I used to think David Ochoa was such a nice guy until this happened.
No. He's a big jerk face.
He really is.
Let's be honest.
What a meanie. I mean, we were impressed with Corvese's start last turn of turn 2 Swordwise.
Yeah. Turn 2 Skyguard. What a good heroic deck you've
so
got
aggressive.
There.
And by the way, forget
I'm
racing.
at 30.
Yeah, I'm at 100.
You better put some counters on your Skyguard, buddy.
Man. Now, what can he back it up with, though?
He's got a Fabled Hero in hand, but not the 3rd mana, it looks like.
No land. So David Ochoa off to a pretty ideal start, but stumbling a little bit here.
He's got a Fabled Hero. He's got an Aqueous form.
Wow. So Island off the top for Ochoa is just a beating.
All right. Nibbles him down to 29.
Take it.
Agent of Horizons.
That was a dauntless onslaught.
Saturday Modern event. Your round
Bash,
4
bash.
rankings are going up. Saturday Modern event, round 4.
You gonna let me untap my Sun Guide? Or do you want to trade?
It feels like a trade is what needs to happen here, though. David Ochoa does have the 2 mana up, so Harry's got to be cognizant of it. But yeah, he can't race the Sun Guide anyway.
Yeah.
If he starts cracking back for even 3, Ochoa wins that pretty easily since he's got such a nice buffer at 29
like a traveling philosopher who's going to come to. Yep. I mean, that's the scary thing about this blue-white deck is it can operate on 2 and 3 lands.
It can. I mean, he's going to need that 3rd mana shortly, though.
Maybe. Maybe.
Yeah, let's see what Corvese can do here.
This looks like Setessan Oathsworn.
Yeah.
Yep.
And with the 1 white mana, he can represent Mortal's Ardor or God's Willing.
Yep. There's land 3.
God's Willing is less impressive here.
Yep, just attack with both. Oh, we get a chump block. Interesting.
Yeah, Corvese falls to 7. He would have been at 4. He would have been dead.
Yeah.
Actually. So
And
Corvese.
there's Fabled Hero.
Yeah. So Corvese definitely plays around Dauntless Onslaught. Probably tipped off by the fact that Ochoa played that land during his first main phase.
Yeah.
And he probably just figured that just
All right.
immediately dying wasn't
Nick's
awesome.
Born Wolf. I'll have a, what is that, a 6-5?
3, 6,
6-4?
6-4.
Yeah. Is that an island?
Oh man, did you see how David?
He just shows
peeled
him.
it? Yeah, he just shows it to him because that was lethal as well. But he also knew an island was lethal as well. So either way,
So mana screwed, denied a color. Ochoa just sort of runs away with that game
No
based
kidding.
on the turn 1 favorite hoplite.
that was insane. Turn 1 favorite hoplite, turn 2 ordeal. Very difficult to beat. So tough to interact with in the format. Looks like we've got some upcoming webcasts here for you guys to take a look at. We've been on quite a nice run lately of weekend, and we've got a few more to go here.
Yeah, Grand Prix Cincinnati next week. I assume you're going.
I am.
Since it's a weekend and it's magic.
Exactly.
You somehow weren't able to find the itinerary that let you go to Cincinnati and Vienna
No,
on the
couldn't
same
do
weekend?
that. I couldn't.
Did you try?
I tried. Yeah.
You know you like get a
'Cause
whole
there's
day.
time
You know you get a whole
zone.
day
Yeah.
coming back. The Magic Online Championship is going to be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I
can't wait for that.
Yeah, I'm excited because you want to see Sabotage.
Yeah, that's why. I think I'm the only one that didn't reply to your thread about that. But you know I'm going. I'm not going.
Okay. 16 of the best Magic Online players in the world. Again, the mocks. If you weren't surprised that Sean McLaren went ahead and won that Pro Tour, and and you're like, oh yeah, I knew he was a good player. It's because you knew that he played in the mocks.
That's right. Yep. Arsenal
because you're familiar with him. If a couple years back you were like, oh, this Reed Duke guy, where did he come from? Well, it's because you didn't watch the mocks.
That's right.
No,
it's true.
that's where we see year in and year out. We see some of the best players on the Pro Tour coming out of that tournament.
Yeah, we saw Oscar Jones.
Yeah, Oscar Jones, who just top 8'd last week at Grand Prix Richmond.
Mm-hmm. He was at that same mock, so that is, Magic Online, one of the breeding grounds for the great players. Recently, it's sort of become a thing of that, and the mocks is a good way to show a lot of those off.
Grand Prix Phoenix coming up the first weekend of April. That's going to be the Channel Fireball webcast team. We assume Louis Scott Vargas and Ben Stark and Matt Sperling, some permutation of those guys.
Right.
Grand Prix Nagoya, the Nico stream.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Again, Theros, Born of the Gods, same format that we have here. And then Grand Prix Philadelphia, me, you, Ben Stark.
That is going to be a fun event.
Sharing the booth.
Yeah, all I can think about are sandwiches.
Pastrami sandwiches.
But once we get it,
sandwiches.
yeah. But once we arrive at the event site, I'll be dialed in.
Can we do a New York versus Philadelphia pastrami showdown?
Oh, you bet we can.
Find out.
I'll tell you what. I'll take either team.
For all, how much better Katz's is than Herschel's pastrami. Just finally put that debate to rest of like how many times better it is than a Herschel's.
I'm willing to be your test rabbit for that. I will try both.
We're also going to do the New York City Shake and Surf and Turf.
Uh-huh.
We're going to go to Shake Shack and Luke's Lobsters and have like a lobster roll and a Shack burger.
I'll go right now. Like we're 5 hours away by car. I'm in.
And then we need to do the bun challenge. Momofuku bun versus Bauhaus. Chairman Bao. All right. Round 3. Game 3, round 6. David Ochoa, Harry Corvese. Harry's kept. Ochoa looks at his hands. He sees land and spells.
Yeah, he's got Ifara's Enlightenment, Vanguard of Brimaz, and a Snarecaster. And I think it's a pretty easy keep.
I didn't see the Vanguard.
Yeah, you go 2 into 3. Oh, twins.
There's a Vanguard.
Baby Brimaz.
And a Sun Guide. Do you go with the Sun Guide here? Yeah.
It looks like he's going to, yeah.
You sure he had the Vanguard and not the Snarecaster?
It might have been a Snarecaster. Because I think he probably would have played.
Yeah. So you going to take the trade?
So the question for David Ochoa is, does he want to get a trick out of Harry Corvese's hand right now
Yeah.
if possible? And that's an interesting decision. It depends a lot on what he has on his hand, and I know he's got a retraction helix over there, so he's got to plan out his next few turns here. I mean, he can assume that Harry Corvese has a trick here. The question is, does he want to get it out of his hand right now, and does he want to make Harry
him from
use up his
developing
mana?
more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Attention tout le monde.
No, he says, I'll take 2.
Le tournoi standard de 6 heures, the standard, the 6 o'clock standard tournament has started. Around table
Ooh,
an elite skirmish.
one of your favorites.
Yeah.
À la table 489. 689, 689.
So I think he's drawn a second Snarecaster here.
So can you afford to get in for 3 here in the air, knowing you're going to untap draw 2, gain 2?
Yep, that's the question, because the race math gets thrown off over and over by that Oresco Sun Guide.
You know, he also knows he's got the 2 Snarecasters that he's going to be able to beat through. Maybe yes, he's going to go for the Enlightenment. Gets a +1/+1 counter, gets flying, flies over for 3.
I like this play a lot. I mean, Harry Corvese, he could time to feed, but he doesn't have any great time to feed options here. He'd
No.
have to trade off his skirmisher as well.
You would love a time to feed here.
Yeah, and otherwise he's green-white. Like, what is he going to do to interact with the flyer?
So Ochoa goes down to
Attention
13.
everyone, this is the last call. If you want to sign up for a vintage or for a commander, scheduled event.
Goes back up to 15.
Yeah, so he basically gets to negate the attack from the Vanguard of Brimaz.
Commander.
So he's taking 3 a turn from the elite skirmisher under that plan.
Yeah, if he had Vanguard or Brimaz, that would have been sweet.
That would have been really nice, especially against like a skirmisher, but instead he has the original Vanguard that I thought I saw, which is actually a Snarecaster, and he drew another Snarecaster as well.
For the 6 o'clock standard, pairings are posted on the Surin banner.
So get him for 3.
Moves it into the red zone. Thank you, Ochoa.
He's like, please block. Show me your trick. Okay, Corvese goes down to 14.
So we might just see double Snarecaster here.
Round 4 has begun. If you're not there, please show up to re-sign the slip.
Shouldn't the Afar's Enlightenment go back to his hand if he wants there?
Is it must or may?
I think it's a May, but I mean, wouldn't you?
Could you please come to the side bench stage?
Yeah, it's a May.
Yeah.
So I guess he just wants to keep his Sun Guide flying.
Does he have the time? He doesn't really have the time
That
to
could be.
replay it.
That's true. He could have other plans coming up, and it does mean that his Sun Guide wouldn't have flying anymore. So
Right.
that's more important.
So everything's flying here, right?
Yeah. So the question is single or double block?
Is that a?
It's
a
a
cat.
cat. Yeah.
Okay.
So he's going to single block. He wants to say, look, I'm going to make you use your trick if you want to keep your Vanguard. And I'm not going to lose both of my creatures to do that. So single block's easy choice here.
It goes to 11. It's going to gain 2 back, go to 13. Yeah, he takes the trade.
Oh, Ochoa's got to be pretty
Yeah,
ecstatic
you gotta feel
about
pretty
that
good
one.
about that. He's like, oh, really? Interesting.
Interesting.
Oh, and pass the turn.
Wow. And he just ships the turn back? So now Ochoa has to think about Divine Verdict as a potential culprit here. I mean, there's not a lot that you can imagine why Harry Corvese would just ship the turn back on 5
I
mana
always
like
think my
that.
opponent's got 3 more lands in hand. They got nothing.
That is a hopeful thought. It's also possible. But Ochoa's going to have to be careful here about how he wants to proceed.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, it turns out I think they have lands, but they almost always have a Divine Verdict.
Yeah. So Ochoa can, for example, play a creature in the main phase, bring back his Enlightenment, and then attack. And that way, if he loses his Sun Guide at that point, it might not be as catastrophic. Interesting. He's going to go with Aqueous form on his Snarecaster. All right, so he is going to play around Divine
Right.
Verdict here, BDM.
And he's got retraction helix, so he still gets to turn on his sun guide.
Mm.
And I guess if Harry Corvese wants to tap the sun guide with Elite Skirmisher to get through, he's pretty okay with that, honestly.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's going to scry a card away.
And Ochoa kind of just brazenly is like, sure. Feel free to kill this creature, because I've got better stuff on the way.
We just need 2 teams to launch. We need 2 teams for a 2-headed giant draft.
All right, so Ochoa passes the turn, and Corvese has done nothing.
Yep.
That whole turn cycle, he just didn't do anything.
Curious if Harry is playing with a Divine Verdict. Doesn't look like he has one, actually.
Okay.
Attention, Ryan Sandrin, Tom Ross, to the main event stage, please. Ryan Sandrin and Tom Ross.
Do you not play your excoriates?
I do play them.
Okay.
2 spaces in a 8-man.
I don't like it.
Yeah. Yeah, Harry, it looks like, chosen not to play excoriate.
Okay.
The slowest, the sorceriest of speed Divine Verdicts.
It is indeed. Corvese passed a turn again after the attack.
Yeah.
Attention everyone, very last call for Commander. If you want to play EDH, this is your last chance to play the scheduled event. Scheduled event.
3 cards in hand for Harry. He plays a flutter step. Ah, and there you go. That's what you were talking about earlier.
Yep. He's now willing to let flying not let this Oresco Sun Guide not be a flyer. He's okay with that now.
Scry. Like, I'll leave that there.
I think he's thinking still.
Please proceed to the side event waiting area. Side event waiting area for booster draft 29.
Hey, what's it gonna be? Don't draw that card. Don't draw it. Okay. It's easy to get your wires crossed with all the different triggers.
Oh, yes.
Scrying, drawing.
It is. Looks like Corvese's going to take it.
Yep.
That's 5 damage.
Doesn't have a. I mean, doesn't really have a block
No.
without a trick.
Nope. So Ochoa has a Stratus Walk in his hand. He can draw that card. If he left a land on top, you'll probably want to draw it here, so he can play his land. Yeah, it was an island. So he crafted this turn pretty nicely, BDM. This way he gets to leave Retraction Helix open.
But he doesn't
as
have
well.
any. He doesn't have anything to retraction helix with though. That's a summoning sick.
Oh, it's still
Eidolon.
summoning
Yeah, he
sick?
played
Oh,
that this turn.
You're right. So no, he does not get to Retraction Helix. But he did get to hit his land drop for the turn and keep his mana developing,
Yeah.
so that's still pretty good.
Please, Tom Ross.
Not Cavalry Pegasus's most shining moment.
No.
Like,
Kind of telling the cavalry to hang back a
Yeah.
little longer. Not yet, guys. So Ochoa has 6 power on the board here. Not.
Okay, he has another point of power in his hand in form of the Afara's Enlightenment.
That's right. He's also got Dauntless Onslaught.
Well, yeah.
So he's got a lot going on. It looks like Harry's just sort of flooded out here a bit.
Plays his 7th land. What's it? He's got something. Okay, Bistoli Strength. Tap your Eidolon. Can he get Ochoa to 1 here with a Dauntless Onslaught?
2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep.
All right, okay. Gets him to 5. Oh.
Corvese still representing the divine verdict, but
Yeah.
I think that
I think he's got
Ochoa
something. I think
knows.
he's got something else cooking though.
uh-oh. What does he have? What's going on here?
What do you think? Let's play him. Don't look. Don't cheat. You can see. What could he have here?
What can he have that untaps a creature and gains him some life? I don't know. Nothing works for me here. Oh, I guess he could have Savage Surge. I block something.
It's not Savage.
It doesn't actually block anything either.
Yeah.
Oh no, I guess he could use it on his Pegasus to block. Yeah, I don't know. You got me.
3 words to you, sir.
Okay.
Hold
Most
at
Oh
bay.
no.
Please come to the front.
I've mentally blocked that one
The
out.
Legacy tournament is about to start.
Wow. That would work. That's all the damage he needs to prevent here. The question is, does he have enough to crack back and kill David Ochoa on the next turn? Ochoa, though, he's careful. Oh, yeah. I want to see an unblockable flyer.
All right, Afara's Radiance on the flitter step. That's 2. That's 4. That's 7 points of power.
Lethal attack.
Okay.
Attention everyone.
With a
we're
scry.
missing 1 player for Legacy. 1 player missing for Legacy. And we're missing 2 players for Vintage. 2 players for Vintage.
3, 5, 6, 7. Keeps the card on top.
Justin Monahan, please present yourself to side events. Justin Monahan to side events.
Oh.
Hold!
But Ochoa's
Oh,
at,
man.
But Ochoa's at 7.
He is at 7.
And he's only got 5 on the crack back.
That's right. And Ochoa still has 2 cards in hand and 3 mana, so he could add something else to his board here for potential blocks, but no, he does not. So can Kerry Corvese find a combat trick here, something
Or a
to punch
bestow
through?
creature.
Yeah, something. It's a Plains.
Nothing is blockable.
Jeez. Except, but the
yeah.
Pegasus has
Yeah,
flying.
he can block something with it, but yeah. that's
Yeah. But it only gets worse here for Corvese, as remember, Ochoa gets to gain 2 life from his Rusko Sun Guide as well.
Have you held at bay your Wingsteed Rider yet when someone tries to Shredding Winds it?
No. Nope. Sure haven't.
It's awesome.
That does sound nice. In combat?
Yeah, oh yeah.
So they take an extra damage too? Jeez. Ochoa's deck is sweet. That was Ornithark.
That's
off the
Ornithark?
top. Yeah, I
Oh.
don't think it's going to matter this game, but that's a good one. Curious if Ochoa just moves in again here. I mean, he can go for Dauntless Onslaught to finish off Corvese after Corvese chump blocks with the Pegasus.
I mean, there's a limited number of cards Corvese could have drawn. Like, any of the combat tricks actually win the game for him.
Yeah. Interesting. Ochoa decides only to attack with 2 creatures, but not his 2 unblockable creatures, his flying creature and one of his unblockable creatures, which means that he doesn't get to just Dauntless Onslaught here for the win.
I guess he's sitting back on Retraction. He's playing it safe. He's sitting back on Retraction Helix.
You're right.
If he's got an Ornithork, he's going to play Ornithork here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, return the Afara's Radiance.
Yeah. He can do that. He can also, he can play both of them, right? Ornithork and Retraction Helix this turn. Yeah.
He doesn't have to play it this turn even, right? He can just sit on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just mean he has the mana to play both.
Yeah, absolutely.
Give me a 7.
This is really interesting. Corvese's trying to decide if he should block.
If he needs to get into chumping mode here.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see if he doesn't, right? That's 2, 3. Oh, no, it's lethal. Right? Isn't that just lethal?
Well, he's attacking for 5.
Oh, yeah, right. Corvese's a 7.
7.
Sorry, I looked at David Ochoa's life total there. So, yeah, if he doesn't block here, it gets even more interesting.
I mean, not blocking is his best shot at winning, right?
Right, and it's just that it also opens the door for Ochoa to go for the win if he feels like it's the right play. And a lot of it's based on what he thinks Harry Corvese has in his hand at this point in the game. It's really hard to say. I mean, I think the most likely candidate is Lance if you're sitting there on David Ochoa's side. Corvese had multiple opportunities to play tricks.
You certainly get to cross a bunch of cards off the list, right? You're like, he doesn't have a Savage Surge. He doesn't have a Battle-Wise Valor.
Right. He took it.
Yeah. I think he has to.
And Ochoa did not go for it. His plan is to win next turn.
There's the Ornithork.
Yep.
So you're going to give him a 5/5 here, right?
Yes. That is the most chumpable. The 2 birds are lethal on their own, so he can't realistically spread out the...
So he doesn't return a Afara's Radiance.
But this is just brutal here for Corvese. I mean, he's facing down 3 different... Well, make that all 4 different evasive, lethal creatures. They're all lethal, too. And that's it.
That's it. Okay, David Ochoa loses a quick game 1, but manages to come back in games 2 and 3.
Wins a very quick game 2.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, that was favored Hoplite and Ordeal of Heliod.
Yeah, in sealed.
In sealed. Those games are generally pretty quick.